They called me crazy for saving a stranger. 3 bullets tore through my body that rainy night. I was just a single father trying to feed my daughter. She was a billionaire widow who had everything. But when those men tried to kill her, I couldn't walk away. What happened next? Nobody expected it. Not even me. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. The rain hammered against the pavement like 1,000 angry fists. Marcus Chen pressed his daughter closer to his chest as they hurried down the wet street. 6-year-old Lily shivered under his jacket, her small hand clutching his shirt. "Daddy, I'm cold," she whispered. "I know, baby. We're almost home." Home. The word felt hollow. Their apartment was 4 blocks away, a tiny place with peeling paint and a heater that only worked half the time. But it was theirs. After everything they'd been through, after losing Sophie 2 years ago to cancer, that small apartment was their sanctuary. Marcus tightened his grip on the plastic bag of groceries. Inside were eggs, bread, and a small birthday cake for Lily. Tomorrow she would turn 7. He'd worked double shifts all week to afford it. They turned the corner onto 5th Avenue, and Marcus stopped. His instincts kicked in, years of military training that never truly left him. Something was wrong. A black car idled at the curb. 3 men stood in a circle around someone. Even through the rain, Marcus could see the glint of metal. Guns. "Close your eyes, Lily," he said softly. "Why, Daddy? Just do it. Please." He should walk away. He should protect his daughter and leave. But then he saw her, the woman in the center of that circle. She wore an expensive coat, now soaked through. Her hands were raised. She wasn't screaming. She stood perfectly still, like a statue carved from ice. Elena Frost. Everyone in the city knew that name. Billionaire CEO of Frost Industries. Her face was on magazine covers, billboards, news channels. But more than that, Marcus knew something else about her. She'd lost her husband 6 months ago. Daniel Frost had died in a car accident that the papers called suspicious. Elena had been left alone to run an empire, and now someone wanted her dead. The lead gunman raised his weapon. Marcus didn't think. He acted. "Lily, run to the store behind us. Hide. Don't come out until I get you." He set her down and pushed her gently. She looked at him with wide, terrified eyes. "Daddy. Go. Now." She ran. Marcus sprinted toward the group. His heart pounded. His hands were empty, no weapon, no backup, just his body and his will. The gunman's finger tightened on the trigger. "Hey!" Marcus shouted. All 4 faces turned. The gunman fired. Marcus threw himself in front of Elena Frost. The first bullet hit his shoulder. White-hot pain exploded through him. The second caught his side. The third grazed his leg. He crashed into Elena, taking her down to the wet pavement. His body covered hers like a shield. Blood spread across his shirt, mixing with the rain. "Stay down," he gasped. Sirens wailed in the distance. The gunman hesitated. Then they ran, disappearing into the night like shadows. Marcus tried to stand. His legs wouldn't hold him. He collapsed onto his side, his vision blurring. Elena scrambled up. Her hands pressed against his wounds, trying to stop the bleeding. "Don't move. Help is coming." "Why did you do that? Why did you?" "My daughter," Marcus whispered. "Lily. The store. Please." His eyes closed. Marcus woke to white. White walls, white ceiling, white sheets. The steady beep of a heart monitor. Pain radiated through his entire body, but it was dulled by medication. "Daddy." Lily's face appeared above him. Tears streaked her cheeks. She grabbed his hand with both of hers. "You're awake. You're awake. I thought. I'm okay, baby." His voice came out rough, barely above a whisper. "You're not okay. You got shot. 3 times. The doctor said you almost died." A nurse entered, followed by a doctor, followed by Elena Frost. She looked different without the rain and darkness. Younger than he'd thought, maybe 35. Her dark hair was pulled back. She wore simple clothes, jeans and a sweater, but they probably cost more than his monthly rent. Her eyes were red-rimmed. "Mr. Chen," the doctor said. "You're very lucky. The bullets missed all major organs. You'll need physical therapy, but you should make a full recovery." Lucky. Marcus almost laughed. He'd been shot 3 times. He had a 6-year-old daughter to raise alone. His savings were gone, spent on Sophie's medical bills. He'd probably lost his job at the warehouse. He couldn't afford this hospital stay, let alone months of therapy. But he was alive. Lily still had a father. "Thank you, doctor," he managed. After the medical staff left, Elena approached his bed. She stood there for a long moment, just looking at him. Lily held his hand tighter, suspicious of this stranger. "You saved my life," Elena said finally. "You don't know me. You had every reason to walk away. But you put yourself between me and those bullets." "Why?" Marcus looked at his daughter. "Because someone needed to. And because I'd want someone to do the same if Lily needed help." "I'm going to pay for everything," Elena said. "The hospital bills, your recovery, your lost wages. I don't want your money." The words came out harsher than he intended. Elena flinched. "I'm sorry," Marcus said. "That came out wrong. I appreciate the offer. But I didn't do it for money. I did it because it was right." "Then let me do something. Please. I can't just walk away knowing you're struggling because you saved me." Lily tugged his hand. "Daddy, we need help. You know we do." She was right. Pride wouldn't feed his daughter or pay the rent. "Okay," Marcus said quietly. "The hospital bills. That's all." Elena nodded. But something in her eyes told him this wasn't over. 2 weeks later, Marcus was released from the hospital. His shoulder was in a sling. His side ached with every breath. But he could walk, and he was going home with Lily. A car waited outside the hospital entrance. Not a taxi. A private car with a driver. "Mrs. Frost arranged it," the nurse explained. "She wanted to make sure you got home safely." Marcus wanted to refuse, but his leg throbbed, and Lily was tired. He accepted. The driver was professional and quiet. They pulled up outside Marcus's apartment building, a rundown structure in a neighborhood that got worse every year. The driver got out and opened the door. "Sir, there's been a change of plans." "What?" "Mrs. Frost asked me to take you to your new residence." "New residence?" "I don't have a new residence. She purchased an apartment for you and your daughter. It's already furnished. She thought you might need a fresh start." Anger flashed through Marcus. "Take me to my apartment. Now." The driver hesitated, then nodded. 10 minutes later, they pulled up outside Marcus's building. He climbed out, helping Lily. Inside, he unlocked the door to his apartment, and stopped. The apartment had been completely transformed. New furniture filled the rooms. The walls were freshly painted. The kitchen had new appliances. Lily's bedroom had a real bed, not the mattress on the floor she'd been using, with pink sheets and a bookshelf full of books. A note sat on the kitchen counter in elegant handwriting. "I know you don't want charity. But please let me give your daughter what she deserves. You gave me my life. Let me give you both a chance at a better one. Elena. Marcus sank onto the new couch and put his face in his hands. Lily explored her new room, squealing with delight. He should be angry. This was too much. Way too much. But when he looked at his daughter's smile, the first real smile he'd seen in months, he couldn't bring himself to refuse. Elena called the next day. Did you get my surprise? You can't just do things like that, Marcus said. I can, actually. I have more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. Why shouldn't I use it to help the man who saved me? Because I don't want to owe you. You don't owe me anything. I owe you. There's a difference. Silence stretched between them. There's something else, Elena said. Those men who tried to kill me, they're still out there. The police are investigating, but I'm not safe. I need protection. Hire bodyguards. I have bodyguards. Professional ones. But they're strangers. They do it for money. You threw yourself in front of bullets without thinking. You didn't know me. You didn't owe me. You just did it because it was right. That's not something money can buy. What are you asking? Come work for me. Be my head of security. I'll pay you well, very well. Enough to give Lily everything she needs. Good schools, college, a future. And you'll be doing what you're clearly good at, protecting people. I'm not a bodyguard. I was a soldier. That was years ago. You still have the instincts. You proved that. Marcus looked at Lily, who was reading one of her new books. She deserved better than this life. Better than his constant struggle to make ends meet. Better than worrying whether they'd have enough food each week. I'll think about it, he said. That's all I ask. 3 days later, Marcus met Elena at her office. The Frost Industries building was a gleaming tower of glass and steel in the heart of downtown. Security was tight, metal detectors, ID checks, armed guards. Elena's office was on the top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Modern art decorated the walls. Everything was pristine, cold, perfect. Elena sat behind a massive desk, looking through reports. When Marcus entered, she stood immediately. Thank you for coming. I haven't decided anything yet. I know. Sit, please. Marcus lowered himself into a chair, wincing at the pain in his side. Elena noticed. Are you still hurting? It's manageable. The doctors said you pushed yourself too hard at physical therapy yesterday. Marcus stiffened. How do you know that? I asked them to keep me updated on your recovery. I'm sorry if that feels invasive, but I needed to know you were okay. Why do you care so much? Elena walked to the window. For a long moment, she said nothing, just stared out at the city below. When those men surrounded me, she said softly, I thought I was going to die. I wasn't scared for myself. I was scared because I'd be leaving everything unfinished. My husband's death unsolved. His killers unpunished. The company vulnerable. I felt like I'd failed him. She turned to face Marcus. Tears glimmered in her eyes. Then you appeared. A complete stranger who threw himself between me and death without hesitation. You have a daughter who needs you. You have every reason to live. But you were willing to die for someone you didn't know. That kind of courage, that kind of goodness, is rare. And it reminded me that there are still good people in this world. I'm not a hero, Marcus said quietly. I'm just a father trying to survive. That's exactly why you're a hero. Heroes don't do extraordinary things because it's easy. They do them in spite of how hard it is. Marcus stood. His body protested, but he ignored it. Those men who attacked you, do you know why? The police think it's related to Daniel's death. He was investigating something within the company. Corruption, maybe or worse. He wouldn't tell me the details. Said he wanted to protect me. Then his car went off a bridge, and suddenly I'm running everything alone, and people are trying to kill me. You think someone inside your company is behind it? I know they are. I just don't know who. And I can't trust anyone. Not the board, not my executives, not even my security team. Any of them could be the traitor. But you trust me. You already proved where you stand. When you jumped in front of those bullets, you chose a side. My side. I don't think that was an accident. Marcus thought about Lily. About the life he wanted to give her. About the man he used to be before Sophie died, strong, capable, purposeful. Okay, he said. I'll do it. But on one condition. Name it. We find out who killed your husband. We get justice. Not revenge, justice. And when it's done, I'm out. I go back to being a normal father raising his daughter in peace. Elena extended her hand. Deal. They shook. Her grip was firm, her palm warm. For just a second, Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in 2 years, a connection to another person that went beyond simple courtesy. He pushed the feeling away. This was business. Nothing more. The next 3 months changed everything. Marcus moved into Elena's estate, a sprawling mansion with guest houses, security systems, and staff. Lily had her own room 3 times the size of their old apartment. She went to a private school where the teachers actually cared. She made friends. She smiled every day. Marcus threw himself into his work. He reviewed every employee file. He upgraded security protocols. He personally vetted each guard. And slowly, carefully, he began investigating Daniel Frost's death. Elena worked constantly. 18-hour days were normal for her. She attended board meetings, negotiated deals, fought hostile takeover attempts. She was brilliant and ruthless in business, but with Marcus, she was different. Softer, more real. They fell into a routine. Every morning, they had coffee together and discussed security. Every evening, after Lily went to bed, they reviewed the investigation. The walls between them began to crack. Tell me about your wife, Elena said one night as they pored over financial records in her study. Marcus tensed. He never talked about Sophie. I'm sorry, Elena said quickly. That was too personal. No, it's okay. Marcus set down the papers. Her name was Sophie. We met in college. She was studying to be a teacher. I was planning to make the military my career. We got married young. Lily came along, and everything was perfect. What happened? Cancer. Stage 4 when they found it. She fought for 2 years. Near the end, she made me promise something. His voice cracked. She made me promise I'd move on. That I'd find someone else eventually. That I wouldn't let grief destroy me. Have you kept that promise? I've survived. I've raised Lily. But moved on. Marcus shook his head. I don't know if I can. She was everything. Losing her broke something in me. Elena reached across the table and touched his hand. Just a brief touch, but it sent warmth through him. Grief never fully goes away, she said. But it changes shape. Becomes something you carry instead of something that crushes you. Daniel and I, our marriage wasn't perfect, but I loved him. His death left me hollow. But lately, I've felt like maybe I can breathe again. Their eyes met. Marcus pulled his hand back gently. We should keep working, he said. Elena nodded, but something had shifted between them. Something neither of them was ready to name. The breakthrough came on a Tuesday. Marcus was reviewing security footage from the night of Daniel's death when he noticed something. A car following Daniel's vehicle. The angle was wrong for the police to have spotted it, but from this camera, it was clear. He traced the license plate. It led to a shell company. The shell company led to a bank account. The bank account led to Victor Brennan, Marcus said, his blood running cold. Elena looked up from her desk. My CFO. He's been embezzling for years. Millions of dollars. Daniel found out. Confronted him. And Victor had him killed. Do you have proof? Enough to start. We need more. They worked through the night. By dawn, they had a case. Bank transfers, email chains, witness statements from people Victor had paid off. It was all there. We take this to the police, Elena said. No. If we do that, Victor runs. He has connections, money, resources. We need to trap him first. How? Marcus smiled grimly. We make him think he's won. The plan was dangerous. Marcus knew it. Elena knew it. But it was their only shot. Elena called a board meeting. She announced that she was stepping down as CEO due to health concerns. The board was shocked. Victor tried to hide his smile. I'm recommending Victor Brennan as my successor, Elena said. The board voted immediately. Victor became CEO of Frost Industries. That night, Elena hosted a celebration dinner at her estate. All the major players attended. Victor gave a speech about carrying on Daniel's legacy. Marcus watched from the security station, his jaw tight. After the guests left, Victor stayed behind. Elena had requested a private meeting in the study. Marcus positioned himself outside the door, listening through a hidden microphone. I have to admit, Victor said, I didn't think you'd give up so easily. I'm tired, Victor. Tired of fighting, tired of this whole mess. What mess? My husband's murder. Silence. That was a tragic accident, Victor said carefully. We both know it wasn't. The question is, what are you willing to do to keep that secret? Elena, I don't know what you're implying. I'm implying that I know everything. The embezzlement, the hired killers, all of it. And I have proof. More silence. Then Victor's voice turned cold. If you had real proof, you'd have gone to the police. You're bluffing. Try me. A gun clicked. Marcus burst through the door. Victor had a pistol pointed at Elena. His face was twisted with rage. You stupid woman. You should have just disappeared quietly. Now I have to clean up another mess. Put the gun down, Marcus said, his own weapon trained on Victor. Your pet bodyguard can't save you this time. He doesn't have to. You're already finished. Elena pressed a button on her desk. The room's screens lit up, showing recordings of their conversation. Outside, police sirens wailed. You were right about the bluff, Elena said. I didn't have enough evidence before. But I do now. You just confessed to murder on camera. Victor's face went white. He swung the gun toward Marcus. Marcus fired first. The shot hit Victor's shoulder. The gun clattered to the floor. Victor collapsed, screaming. Police stormed in moments later. They hauled Victor away, still shouting threats. When the mansion finally emptied, when the last officer left and the last statement was given, Marcus and Elena found themselves alone in the study. They didn't speak. Elena walked to Marcus and wrapped her arms around him. He held her tight, his body shaking with adrenaline and relief. It's over, she whispered. It's finally over. You did it. You got justice for Daniel. We did it. I couldn't have done this without you. She pulled back to look at him. Her eyes were bright with tears. Marcus, He kissed her. It wasn't planned. It wasn't logical. But it felt right. Like coming home after a long journey. She kissed him back, her fingers tangling in his hair. When they finally broke apart, both were breathless. "I'm sorry," Marcus said. "That was inappropriate. I shouldn't have." "Don't apologize. Please don't apologize. Elena, this is complicated. I work for you. You're still grieving Daniel. I'm still dealing with losing Sophie. Lily needs stability, not what? Not happiness. Not love." Elena cupped his face. "I'm not asking you to forget Sophie. She was your wife. You'll always love her. But she wanted you to move on. She wanted you to live. And I think maybe we could help each other do that. What about Lily? Lily is wonderful. I'd never try to replace her mother. But I'd like to be part of her life. Part of both your lives. If you'll let me." Marcus thought about Sophie. About the promise he'd made. About how she'd always said he had too much love in his heart to keep it locked away forever. "Okay," he said softly. "Let's try." 6 months later, Marcus stood in Elena's garden watching Lily play. She'd grown taller, stronger, more confident. The scared little girl who'd hidden in the rain was gone. In her place was a happy child who laughed easily and dreamed big. Elena came up beside him, slipping her hand into his. "She wants a puppy," Elena said. "I told her we'd talk about it. A puppy means responsibility. Commitment. I'm aware." Elena smiled. "But I think she's ready. And I think it would be good for us. Make this feel more like a real family." Marcus turned to her. "Is that what we are? A family? I hope so. If you want to be." He kissed her forehead. "I want to be." Lily ran over, out of breath and grinning. "Daddy. Elena. Come play with me." She grabbed both their hands and pulled them toward her game. Marcus let himself be led, his heart full for the first time in years. He'd thrown himself in front of bullets to save a stranger. That split-second decision had changed everything, given him purpose again, brought love back into his life, and showed him that heroes aren't born from perfection but from the willingness to act when it matters most. As they played in the garden, the three of them together, Marcus finally understood what Sophie had wanted for him. Not to forget her, but to honor her memory by living fully. By loving again. By being the father and man she'd always believed he could be. The bullets had nearly killed him. But they'd also saved him. Given him a second chance at life. And this time, he wasn't going to waste it. The wedding was small. Just close friends and family. Lily stood between Marcus and Elena, holding both their hands as they said their vows. "I promise to protect you," Marcus said to Elena. "Not because it's my job, but because you're my heart. You gave me and Lily a life worth living. You showed me that it's okay to love again. I promise to stand beside you," Elena said to Marcus. "Through every challenge, every joy, every ordinary moment. You saved my life. Now let me spend the rest of mine making sure you never regret it." They kissed as husband and wife. Lily cheered, bouncing on her toes. Later, at the reception, Marcus found a quiet moment to look at a photo of Sophie he kept in his wallet. He touched her face gently. "I kept my promise," he whispered. "I moved on. But I'll never forget you. Thank you for giving me Lily. And thank you for making me promise to find love again. I hope you're proud of the man I've become." He tucked the photo away and returned to his new wife and daughter. His family. The single father who'd taken 3 bullets to save a billionaire had found something he never expected, a second chance at happiness. And in saving Elena's life, he'd somehow saved his own. Because sometimes the greatest courage isn't in dying for someone. It's in living for them. In choosing hope over grief, love over loss, and believing that even in our darkest moments, we deserve to be happy. Marcus had learned that lesson the hard way. But now, surrounded by love and laughter, he knew every painful step had been worth it. He'd found his way home. Marcus sat on the porch of their new home, a place they'd bought together, away from the city's chaos. It wasn't a mansion. Just a comfortable house with a big yard where Lily could play, where their second daughter, Emma, could grow up surrounded by love and laughter. He watched Elena push 3-year-old Emma on the swing. Her laughter filled the air, pure and joyful. Lily, now 12, sat beside him doing homework. "Dad, can I ask you something?" Lily said, not looking up from her math. "Always, sweetheart. Do you ever think about that night? When you got shot?" Marcus paused. He thought about it often. The rain, the fear. The moment he chose to act instead of walking away. Yes. Every day. "Do you regret it?" "Not for a single second." Lily finally looked up. She had Sophie's eyes. That same gentle kindness. "Mom, Elena, told me once that you saved her life. But she said you saved her in more ways than just taking those bullets." What did she mean? Marcus smiled. "When I met Elena, she was lost. Angry, broken by her husband's death. She was surviving but not living. I think she means that by being there, by helping her find justice, by loving her, I helped her remember how to live again. And she did the same for you, didn't she?" "She did. After your mom Sophie died, I forgot what it felt like to be happy. Elena reminded me. You both did." Lily closed her book and hugged him tight. "I'm glad you didn't walk away that night. I'm glad you're brave. Being brave isn't about not being scared, Lily. I was terrified. But I knew that if I did nothing, I'd never forgive myself. Sometimes doing the right thing means being scared and doing it anyway." Elena walked over with Emma in her arms. The little girl's curls bounced as she giggled. "Daddy! Daddy! Higher on the swing. In a minute, princess." Marcus stood and took Emma, spinning her around. Her squeals of delight made everyone smile. That evening, after the girls were asleep, Marcus and Elena sat in their living room. A fire crackled in the fireplace. She rested her head on his shoulder. "Victor's parole hearing is next month," Elena said quietly. "I know. Are you worried?" "No. He's not getting out. The evidence was too strong. And even if somehow he does, he's a broken man. He lost everything. His reputation, his freedom, his future. We won. Justice won." Elena lifted her head to look at him. "You gave me that. You gave me closure. Peace. A chance to move forward. You gave me the same. A purpose again, a reason to keep fighting." She kissed him softly. "We saved each other." "Yeah. We did." Later that night, Marcus stood in Emma's doorway, watching her sleep. Then he moved to Lily's room. She was growing up so fast. Soon she'd be in high school, then college, then living her own life. But tonight, she was still his little girl. The same girl who'd clutched his hand in the rain all those years ago. He thought about the choice he'd made. To risk everything for a stranger. It had nearly cost him his life. Instead, it gave him everything. A family, a love that healed old wounds, a future bright with possibilities. Marcus had learned that heroism isn't about grand gestures or seeking glory. It's about showing up when it matters. About choosing compassion over comfort, about being willing to sacrifice for others, even when there's no guarantee of reward. He'd been that hero once. And in being saved by his sacrifice, Elena had saved him right back. As he returned to bed and wrapped his arms around his wife, Marcus whispered into the darkness, "Thank you, Sophie. For making me promise. For giving me permission to love again. I'll always carry you in my heart. But I'm finally home." The moon shone through the window, casting silver light across the room. In that moment, Marcus felt complete. The single father who'd taken 3 bullets had become a husband, a father of 2, and a man who'd learned that sometimes the biggest risks lead to the greatest rewards. His story wasn't about the bullets. It was about what came after. About choosing life over fear. Love over loss. Hope over despair. And that, he realized, was the greatest victory of all. The hospital room was filled with flowers. Cards covered every surface. And in the center of it all, Marcus held his newborn grandson. Lily, now 22 and married, watched from her bed, exhausted but glowing with happiness. "He has your eyes, Dad," she said softly. Marcus gazed at the tiny face. The baby boy wrapped his small fingers around Marcus's thumb, holding on tight. Just like Lily had done so many years ago. "What's his name?" Marcus asked, his voice thick with emotion. Lily smiled at her husband, then back at her father. "Daniel Marcus. After the 2 men who changed our lives." Marcus felt tears slip down his cheeks. He didn't try to hide them. Elena entered with Emma, now 13 and carrying balloons. They crowded around, cooing over the newest member of their family. "He's so tiny," Emma whispered in awe. "You were even smaller," Elena told her, kissing her head. Marcus looked around at his family. At the life they'd built together. Every face here was because of one choice he'd made in the rain all those years ago. One moment of courage that had rippled forward, creating waves of love and connection. Later, as they drove home, Elena took his hand. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "About how one decision changed everything. If I'd walked away that night. But you didn't. That's who you are, Marcus. You never walk away when someone needs help." "I was scared. I'm still scared sometimes. Scared I'll lose all this. That I don't deserve it." Elena squeezed his hand. "We all deserve love. We all deserve second chances. You taught me that." When they reached home, Marcus stood in the yard under the stars. The same stars that had shone the night he'd almost died. The night everything changed. He thought about the journey. The pain, the healing, the love that had bloomed from tragedy. "I'd do it all again," he said to the universe. "Every bullet, every scar, every moment, because it led me here." And somewhere in the night, he felt Sophie's presence. Not sad, not distant, but proud. Telling him what he already knew in his heart. He'd kept his promise. He'd lived. He'd loved. He'd become the man both his wives believed he could be. The single father who took 3 bullets had found his forever family. And that was the greatest miracle of all.